Starting off the list at number 10 is David Henrie, who starred alongside Selena Gomez on the Disney hit TV show Wizards of Waverly Place. The actor tied the knot with his long-term girlfriend Maria Cahill in an intimate ceremony in Wilmington, California back in 2017. After 3 years, the then 27-year-old was thrilled to lock her down and gushed to E! News saying, "I knew Maria was special from the moment I saw her." The wedding was a ceremony filled with friends and family, including Selena Gomez and the rest of the Disney cast. Fans were freaking out about the reunion after Selena posted a picture of the cast saying, "Very much in my feelings about my big brother getting married, even though we for sure knew it would be him first." That is just adorable. Just a few months ago, on March 19, 2019, they welcomed their first child together, a little girl named Pia. He shared on Instagram that she was a miracle for them because they actually had 3 miscarriages prior to being blessed with her. He thanked Pope Francis for the blessing because he literally prayed for them to have a baby. Like, in person, met them, held their hands, and prayed, blessed them to have a child. Their daughter's middle name is actually Francesca in honor of him. Up next at number 9 is Tiffany Thorton, the bubbly blonde actress who starred alongside Demi Lovato on the series Sunny with a Chance. The former Disney star went on to marry Chris Carney, a musician and MTV reality star. He was known for being the lead singer of the rock band The Prom Kings. They were married from 2011 to 2015 and had 2 very handsome sons together before he tragically died in a car accident on December 4th, 2015. He was only 35 years old. Only 2 years after his death, she got remarried to a longtime family friend named Josiah Capasi. Many people criticized her for finding happiness with someone else only 2 years after the death of her first husband, but she did not let them rain on her parade and posted a lengthy caption defending her choices. In it, she said, I quote, "There is no timeline for grief or for when God moves in your life in undeniable ways. I thought of Chris watching us, knowing he would have loved the choice I made for me and for the boys. I will always love Chris, and Joe knows that." Chris Carney's parents also attended the wedding and sat front row in full support of her happiness. Sliding to number 8 is Corbin Bleu. You know, Zac Efron's best friend in the movie series High School Musical. The former Disney actor married actress Sasha Clemens on July 23, 2016 in California. He was 27 years old at the time, and she was 26 when they said their vows in front of guests at Hummingbird Nest in Santa Susana. Corbin told People magazine, I quote, "Getting married to Sasha was the best moment of my life. From the flowing veil in the wind as she walked to the big smile on her face, it suddenly hit me that the stunning woman that was looking at me was going to marry me and make me the happiest man in the world. My heart." He's got away with words, right? Well, not always. His vows caused more of a stir than anything when he didn't really think them all the way through. Turns out they wrote their own vows, and when writing them, he was only thinking with her in mind. During his beautiful vows, he got to one part and said, "I vow to pleasure you," which immediately had everyone laughing because one can only imagine what the bride's father was thinking during a moment like that.
Forgot her father is like sitting right there, and I said, I vow to pleasure you. And it created that, but I kept going, I stopped myself.
And at number 7 is Mollee Gray. She first started out as a backup dancer in High School Musical, but then got recognized for her role in Disney's Teen Beach movie and Teen Beach 2. She's known for her incredible talent and skills in dance, and was actually later on a finalist on season 6 of So You Think You Can Dance. So I think she can dance. She surprised some fans after she came out as gay and dated her girlfriend, Jecca Jane, for 4 years. She said she hid it for so long because she was afraid that it would affect her career. She told Advocate, I quote, "I kept it hidden. I was so scared. I thought if somebody knows, I won't book a job, and there is no way I could ever play straight again on camera. It just messed with my head." They started dating in September 2013, and Jecca proposed in April 2016. They ended up getting married in September 2017 in a ceremony that looked pretty much like a fairy tale. The ceremony and reception was held on the rooftop of The Landing in South Lake Tahoe's Heavenly Village. And boy was it heavily, look at the pictures. Mollee was ecstatic and says she cannot wait to experience her life with her new husband. That's what she calls Jecca, and I think it is the cutest thing ever. Me and my husband. Ooh! That's so cute! Coming into number 6 is Ryan Merriman. The actor started out in Disney Channel original movies like Smart House, The Luck of the Irish, and A Ring of Endless Light. He was a little Disney heartthrob at the time, and he also grew up into one and starred on the hit TV series Pretty Little Liars. He's all grown up now and he's married, so Disney fans have officially lost their chance at being with this hottie. He got married to his wife Kristen McMullen on September 6 back in 2014. They got married in an intimate ceremony on the East Coast, but his proposal is talked about more than than his actual wedding. He proposed to her in April 2013 on their trip to New Zealand. He told Us Weekly how it happened and said, "There is this awesome thing called Sky City with a stratosphere tower, and they light off about $300,000 worth of fireworks at midnight. As soon as I gave her a kiss and proposed, the fireworks started going off. It was kind of like a movie." I want a proposal like that. This video is making me very bitter. I'm learning. I don't want to talk about love anymore. Halfway through the list at number 5 is Tamera Tia Mowry. Because they are twins, I am allowing to take up one spot. I mean, I don't think it's fair to only mention one of them. How would I even choose? I feel like that would be rude. They started their acting careers on the sitcom Sister Sister and later gained more recognition for starring together on the Disney Channel movie Twitches and then its sequel Twitches 2. Tia and her husband Corey Hardrick are like a real life fairy tale. After dating for 6 years, the couple got engaged on Christmas Day in 2006 and then got married on April 20th, 2008. They have 2 adorable children together and are definitely #goals. Her sister Tamera is also married and tied the knot to a man named Adam Housley. They had their first date back in January 2005 at PF Chang's and through some ups and downs still got married later in 2011. Social media took a toll on their relationship for people having racial issues with their relationship, but nonetheless they are now a family of 4 and are cuter than ever. Up next at number 4 is another High School Musical star, Monique Coleman. In all honesty, I was totally shipping her and Corbin Bleu to date for like ever. I really wish they were on this list together, like married to each other, but whatever. After her years at Disney, she went on to compete in ABC's Dancing with the Stars. For years, people have talked about her boyfriend Walter Jordan. They referred to him as her boyfriend because Monique actually kept it private that they got married on Valentine's Day back in 2012. They got married in a private ceremony on an island off the coast of Thailand. Like literally, it was just them. She never talked about why she kept it private, but from what we've seen in the pictures, it looked like they had a very special time, just the 2 of them. They don't have any kids yet, just an adorable little fur baby, a dog, but rumors have started 2 days ago on August 19th, 2019, after an article surfaced claiming that she is expecting. The actress's rep told the journalist, "I do not comment on her personal life." So it has neither been confirmed nor denied. Here we are number 3 with Christy Carlson Romano, who is mostly known for her role as Ren Stevens on the Disney show Even Stevens. She's also known for being the voice of Kim Possible, which is really freaking cool. She's now married to a man named Brendan Rooney. They had a winter wedding here in Canada on December 31st, 2013. I personally cannot imagine taking my wedding pictures in a pile of snow, but hers actually turned out beautiful. The 2 of them have been together since 2011 and they met when she interviewed him for a campus documentary about veterans at Columbia University. He served time as a Marine and just so happened to be the president of the Columbia's Military Veterans Organization. They got engaged less than a year into dating. Turns out he proposed on a gondola in Italy. So romantic. They now have 2 beautiful daughters together who will both probably grow up to be Kim Possible every year on Halloween. In spot number 2 is Ali McCalca, also known as AJ from the sister duo Ali and AJ. But when it came to acting, she was known for her role as Keely in the Disney Channel series Phil of the Future. The former Disney star married her film producer fiance Steven Ringer at a romantic ceremony in Italy back in 2015. She went against the odds and wore a lavender colored dress and she looked beautiful doing it. They first met back in 2012 on the set of Sequoia, the movie where Ali played the lead role and Steven produced it. The couple asked their friends and family who attended the wedding to hashtag any of their posts with the hashtag "put a ringer on it" to tie it in with his last name. Get it? I think that is super clever and adorable. As for now in 2019, there are no kids in their family picture, but the good news is her and her sister Ali are back as a band and touring for the first time in forever. That's pretty sweet. Taking our number 1 spot is Ashley Tisdale. That is right, Miss Sharpay Evans toned down the sass and locked down a man. The High School Musical star married musician Christopher French on September 4th back in 2014. She posted her wedding pictures to her Instagram and captioned them, "Best day of my life." Their wedding was actually a secret and they were able to pull it off because they got married on a Monday. A Monday! She said they chose the date because the 8th was their anniversary, but also because she was hoping no one would figure it out and they could have more privacy. All the guests were sent to a secret location and they were actually shuttled to the wedding ceremony. They even took everyone's cell phones and other electronics for the ceremony, so that no pictures could be leaked. The couple didn't meet at some fancy event either. They actually met back in 2012 through mutual friends. So maybe let your friends set you up on your next date. You never know. The best part of her wedding was standing alongside her was her High School Musical co-star Vanessa Vanessa Hudgens, who was one of her bridesmaids. My teenage self is screaming inside right now because that is so precious. Starting off our list in the number 10 spot is Cameron Diaz and Benji Madden. A lot of people didn't even know when they started dating back in 2013. They are a very low-key couple. When I say low-key, I mean low-key, to a point where they had a private wedding in their own home. We don't really know much about their relationship when you compare it to all the other couples in Hollywood who have their whole relationship pretty much out on the line. They started dating in May 2013 and got married on January 5th, 2015. They had an intimate ceremony at their home in Beverly Hills with only close friends and family. At this time of recording, they have been married now and they seem to be happier than ever. When speaking on her marriage, Cameron opened up to E! News about the relationship and said, "I have a husband who is just a partner in life and in everything. Talk about two very different people. We are so different from one another, but we share the same values. We're totally two peas in a pod. We are both just weird enough for each other." No baby news from the couple yet, only multiple rumors online about her being pregnant apparently back in 2018 and then them adopting a baby boy back in 2015. Neither of those were actually true though. Next up at number 9 is Mario Lopez and Ali Landry. You probably didn't know about their marriage because their romance was very short-lived. The two Saved by the Bell lovers dated for 6 years and then tied the knot back in April 2004, but they were only married for 2 weeks. Yes, you heard me, 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks after the wedding, they annulled when they returned home from their honeymoon. Turns out Mario had cheated on her days before the wedding during his wild bachelor party in Mexico. Ouch. That's why you don't do bachelor parties. If that didn't hurt enough, later down the road he admitted that he wasn't in love with her but married her anyways. The actor wrote a memoir called Just Between Us where he explained his side of the story. He said, "I never addressed certain relationships, especially the truth and the handling of what happened in my first marriage. I got inebriated and a little too friendly with a young lady. When it was time to return home, lightning hit me with the truth. I wasn't in love, but I walked down the aisle anyways." If that isn't a punch to the gut, I don't know what is. He is now married to Courtney Mazza and they have 3 beautiful children together. Coming in at number 8 is Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling. Married? When did they even start dating? I literally had no idea. Turns out the two of them met on the set of The Place Beyond the Pines back in 2011 and have been together for 8 years now. In September 2014, Eva gave birth to their first child, a daughter named Esmeralda. Only 2 years later, in April 2016, the couple had another little girl named Amada. I think that's how you say it. It was 8 months after they started to make headlines for getting married. However, no one knew if it was actually real or not. Reps refused to comment or denied it altogether, and to this day fans are still asking if they are actually legally married or not. They are practically married no matter what, even if it's not legal on paper, which we cannot technically confirm nor deny. All I know is that they are adorable, they are goals, their kids are perfect, and I'm pretty much jealous. And also a little bit mad because I was under the impression Ryan Gosling was single and that I still had a chance. And at number 7 is Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. Guys, I literally feel like I got punked with this one. I didn't even know they were a couple. Like ever. Like I don't know where I was when all of this happened. The two of them first met on set back in 2007 when they starred in the comedy Take Me Home Tonight. Chris says that he knew she was the one immediately, but she was married to another actor at the time. Yeah, that's kind of a little roadblock there. It was shortly after the movie ended that Anna split from her ex-husband and got officially divorced in 2008. She moved on pretty quickly though, apparently, because later that same year, she got engaged to Chris, and then they tied the knot on July 9th, 2009. They were what seemed to be happily married for a few years before announcing in May 2012 that they were expecting their first child together. In 2015, rumors started flying that Chris wasn't being faithful, and for a few years there were headlines saying the relationship had a strain. It was on August 7th, 2017 that the two of them announced their separation on social media. They shared the same statement which read, I quote, "We are sad to announce we are legally separating. We tried hard for a long time and we're really disappointed. Our son has 2 parents who love him very much, and for his sake we want to keep this situation as private as possible moving forward. We still love each other and will always cherish our time together." The two of them have moved on, but they still remain as friends and co-parent with each other. This one has a happy ending. Swiping the number 6 spot is Isla Fisher and Sacha Baron Cohen. Wait, Borat has a wife? And it's Isla Fisher? How did he make that happen? The two of them met back in 2012 at a party in Sydney, Australia, and only 2 years after dating, they got engaged in 2004. They were married in a Jewish ceremony in Paris, France on March 15th, 2010. The actress spoke on her religion, saying that before they got married, she actually converted to Judaism. She said, "I will definitely have a Jewish wedding just to be with Sacha. I would do anything, move into any religion to be united into marriage with him. We have a future together together, and religion comes second to love as far as we are concerned. She completed her conversion in early 2007 after doing 3 years of study. They have been married ever since and now live in both London and Los Angeles with their 3 beautiful children. Who knew? Halfway through our list at number 5 is Drew Barrymore and Tom Green. Many people didn't know that these two were married, or they just forgot because it was very short-lived. Drew was a fan of Green's show at the time and ended up asking him to appear in her movie Charlie's Angels, which she starred in but also produced. The couple began dating and got engaged in July 2000. They got married 1 year later on July 7th, 2001, and the relationship moved very quickly, which is probably why the marriage only lasted 9 months before the two of them announced they were getting a divorce. Tom did an interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2014 and spoke about his short marriage to Drew, saying, "It was just a very short period of time that I had a brief marriage. I don't really tend to talk about it that much comfortably or publicly. All of that was part of that sort of crazy whirlwind of a time. I haven't talked to her in many years. I'm glad she's doing great. I'm really happy that she's doing good." I want more juicy details on that. They were married for a total of 163 days. Like, what happened in that amount of time that you called off your entire marriage? I selfishly want to know. Alright guys, at number 4 we have Daniel Craig and Rachel Weisz. Yet another couple that went right over my head this entire time. They met all the way back in 1994 when they starred in the play together called Les Grands Horizontales. Neither of them were famous at the time, so they actually had a genuine friendship of 2 random people meeting for the first time. More than 10 years later, things heated up between them in 2010 when they starred in the movie Dream House. At that time, Rachel's current marriage was ending, and Daniel had broken up with his fiancée later that year. It was the following year that the two of them quietly tied the knot in New York. I say quietly because they only had 4 people attend their ceremony, and they were Craig's daughter Ella, Rachel's son Henrie, and then their 2 friends. Big crowd. In 2018, they welcomed their first child together and still continue to live a more private lifestyle when it comes to their marriage. They've always kept their relationship as private as possible, so there hasn't been too many details about their new daughter. We just have to kind of sit back and watch the rest of their love story unfold. Taking the number 3 spot is Amber Tamblyn and David Cross. Tibby from Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is married to the principal from She's the Man. Not only did this shock me because I had no idea, it also shocked me because there's an obvious age difference between the two of them. 19 years to be exact. The first of them met on a connecting flight from Houston to Louisiana, where he says Amber aggressively stared at him. He makes jokes during an interview with Huffington Post saying, "I was slow to make any moves because of our age difference and also because she was a fan." He is not lying though. Amber admits to being a crazy fan before they got together. The couple got engaged in August 2011 and tied the knot on Saturday, October 6, 2012. They had their first child together back in 2017, a little girl that they named Marlo. The now 36-year-old actress is still madly in love with her 55-year-old husband, despite what other people think about their very random relationship. In spot number 2 is Leighton Meester and Adam Brody. Jesus, take the wheel, you guys. I can't even explain to you how mind blown I was when I found this out. Like, I was seriously shook. Ask Lucy. I follow Leighton on Instagram and thought she was single throughout all of these years. Like, how? Blair Waldorf and Seth Cohen are married and have a kid together? Turns out I've been living under a rock, and the two of them actually started dating back in 2013 and then got married in February 2014 in an intimate ceremony in North Carolina. It was in September 2015 that they welcomed their first child together, a little girl named Arlo. People often joke with them about their TV characters and how they ended up together. Leighton joked with Entertainment Tonight saying, I quote, "Once a year randomly on our Seth and Blair day, it's good to have a laugh. It doesn't excite us, I think, because we're just human beings, but it's exciting to us that it's exciting to you. It's cool." It is very cool, and I was so excited when I found this out. I still can't believe it. Sniping our number 1 spot is Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson. Because wow, I totally forgot about this. The two actors started publicly dating back in April 2007, and not long after they confirmed their engagement in May of 2008. When they got married on September 27, 2008, Scarlett was only 23 years old and Ryan was 31. They had a quiet ceremony on Vancouver Island with close family and friends. Throughout their marriage, there were often rumors about the couple having issues, and in early 2010, they were actually living separately because of their work. There might have been some truth to the rumors though, because on December 14th, 2010, they announced they decided to separate after only 2 years of marriage. The statement said, I quote, "After long and careful consideration on both our parts, we've decided to end our marriage. We entered our relationship with love, and it's with love and kindness we leave it. While privacy isn't expected, it is certainly appreciated. Ryan is actually now married to the mother of his children, Blake Lively, and Scarlett recently got engaged to Colin Jost after 2 years of dating. So happily ever after for all parties, I'd say. Starting off the list at number 10 is Kid Rock and Pamela Anderson. The Baywatch babe and rock star had a marriage that is notable for their now famous wedding, which was a huge yacht party in St. Tropez. Their first engagement was called off in 2003, and 3 years later they got married in July 2006 on a boat. The yacht party was a huge success, but their marriage wasn't. It was very short-lived. Pamela filed for divorce in November 2006, and it was finalized in 2007. Back in 2018, she spoke candidly about their past marriage during an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. She admitted that she never spoke to him again after the split. It was basically the definition of out of sight, out of mind. She doesn't have any bad things to say about him and vice versa. But rumors were going around after Kid Rock made a joke saying that the Borat movie was the cause of their divorce. Pamela Anderson had a cameo in the movie, and apparently Kid Rock wasn't a fan of the movie in general, so when news headlines started saying that Borat was the reason for their divorce, they didn't really care to deny or confirm it. Who cares at this point, right? Like, you might as well just have a good laugh. At number 9 is Kim Kardashian and Damon Thomas. Most people don't know who Damon is or that Kim was ever married to him. He's a music producer who she decided to marry when she was just 19 years old. He is 10 years older than her, so if we do the easy math, he was 29 at the time. She walked down the aisle for the first time ever back in 2000 and admits that she was on ecstasy on her wedding day. On her family reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians, she talks about it with her younger sister Kendall Jenner, saying, "I did ecstasy once and I got married. I did it again, I made a sex tape. Like, everything bad would happen." Well, I mean, don't blame the drugs now, Kim. The two of them were married for 4 years before getting divorced in 2004. Based on their divorce papers, Damon was extremely controlling. Kim revealed that Damon decided what we would do and when we would do it. He was very much the king of the castle. She makes other serious claims that he both physically and mentally abused her as well. Good news is she was able to file for a divorce and continue to move forward. Next up at number 8 is Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose. I didn't even know they were dating, let alone married. The two of them started dating in 2011, and just a year later they announced the news of their engagement and also that a baby was on the way. They welcomed their first child in February 2013, a son named Sebastian. For fans, it seemed like they had a picture-perfect family life going on, but only a year and a half into their life as parents, they announced that they were splitting up. Wiz has since opened up about the marriage and how difficult the split was for him, but he has no bad blood towards his ex-wife. He thinks that it was for the best. Amber agrees and told Us Weekly, I quote, "It's so crazy that we are literally best friends. We hang out all the time." Well, that is refreshing to hear since they are also co-parenting. It is nice that they can still have a happy ending. Sliding into number 7 is Renee Zellweger and Kenny Chesney. Yet another couple that I didn't know was ever even a thing. Is it just me, or does this one feel like super random? They first met back in January of 2005 at NBC's Concert of Hope Tsunami Telethon. Renee told Jay Leno that there wasn't any sparks between the two of them that night, but they still exchanged numbers. Sparks must have grown between them because they dated shortly after, and only a few months after dating, they got married. Their wedding was on May 9th, 2005 in the US Virgin Islands, where they invited 45 close friends and family members. Although it was a beautiful wedding, their marriage didn't last long and it came to an end just 4 months later in September. Renee filed for an annulment and cited fraud as the reason. The statement spread like wildfire and everyone was throwing shade at Kenny, but Renee came to his rescue saying, I quote, "Fraud is simply language and not a reflection of Kenny's character." Maybe you should have clarified that from the start. Regardless, there is no disrespect between them and neither of them regret the marriage. In at number 6 is Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis. Some of you might be like, why are they on this list? Do you live under a rock? Well, the answer is yes. Yes, I do, because I had no idea that they were a couple, and in my defense, I also asked Rebecca and she didn't either, and neither did Chris. So, they've been together for 8 years now, and the relationship timeline shows how committed they are to each other. They met each other back in fall 2011 at a Saturday Night Live finale party, and they exchanged phone numbers, and the rest is basically history. They became official in December 2011, and in January 2013, they announced their engagement. Later that year in October, they announced Olivia's first pregnancy with their son Otis. Years later, still not married, in April 2016, they announced her second pregnancy with their daughter Daisy. Which leads us to today in 2019, they are happily parenting their 2 beautiful children and are still not legally married. Rumors are flying that they've secretly tied the knot, but they continue to deny it. They've been engaged for years and are living like a married couple, so they don't feel like they need to rush it or make it a legal thing. I mean, I still consider this marriage They're living like a married couple, they're committed like a married couple. What do you guys think? Halfway through the list at number 5 is Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. The two of them claim they are a perfect fit and have a 14-year partnership to back that statement up. Jason said he was in love with Lisa ever since he saw her on TV in 1987 when she starred on The Cosby Show. It wasn't until 2005 when they met at a New York jazz club. They were immediately together from the day they met. Lisa described it to Porter magazine saying, "In that moment, love came and it came big, and he did not run as I think a lot of men do." In 2007, they had their first child together, a daughter named Lola, and the following year a son named Nakoa. I think that's how you say it. Fun fact, Lisa was previously married to Lenny Kravitz and they had a daughter together, Zoe Kravitz, so Jason has also played stepdad in her life and loves every second of it. She calls him Papa Bear in all of her Instagram posts with him. It's totally adorable. As for marriage, it wasn't until 12 years later that they officially tied the knot in October 2017. They held a low-key ceremony at their home in California. Apparently it was meant to be a secret, but of course someone leaked it online. Jason told Entertainment Tonight, I quote, "You know what? I've been married to my wife for 12 years. It's just a gathering of our families and celebrating our love." And at the time of this recording in 2019, they are still happily together and looking as adorable as ever. Here we are number 4 with Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Esposito. They were first spotted as a couple in 2006, and after just a few months of looking cozy in pictures, they confirmed their engagement in October. They got hitched in late December, just 2 months after the announcement. It was a fairly low-key wedding, taking place in the south of France where they exchanged vows with some family and friends watching. It looked like they enjoyed their time together, but only 4 months into the marriage, Jennifer filed for divorce, citing it irreconcilable differences. Bradley's rep at the time shared a statement saying the divorce was mutual and they've been separated for quite a while. Throughout the years, it seems that Jennifer is the one who has some bad blood towards the actor. She once referred to the relationship as, I quote, "an entire marching band squad of red flags." Yikes. I like that phrase though, so I might use it when I describe some of my own exes. Coming in hot at number 3 is Katy Perry and Russell Brand. You probably knew that they were a couple back in the day, but did you know that they were actually married? Their romance was a whirlwind as they fell in love and got married rather quickly, which might be one of the reasons why it didn't work out. They first met back in 2008 on the set of Get Him to the Greek, but it was in 2009 that they started dating and later announced they were engaged on New Year's Eve. For the record, their engagement came just 4 months after they started dating, so they were moving quickly. They had their wedding in October 2010 at a super secret traditional Hindu ceremony in India. It was at a resort which was across from the tiger sanctuary that he proposed at. The marriage only lasted 14 months and Russell filed for divorce shortly after Christmas in 2011. They both had different reasons as to why they split. Katy told Vogue that he didn't like that she was equal to her and tried to control her. He says he just had a change of heart and his mind frame began to shift, whatever that means. Worst part about the failed marriage was that he ended things through text. Katy told Vogue the story saying, "Let's just say I haven't heard from him since he texted me saying he was divorcing me on December 31st, 2011. Classy. In spot number 2 is Chad Michael Murray and Sophia Bush. I always knew they were that hot couple from the show One Tree Hill, but I had no idea that they actually got married. I was a huge fan of the show, which is where they met and continued to date. The show ran for 9 seasons and they were together by the second one. They weren't together for very long before they got engaged. They got married in April of 2005 when Sophia was just 22 years old and Chad was 23. They were very young. It was a very short-lived marriage as they separated just 5 months later. The divorce was finalized in December 2006. Down the road, just last year in 2018, Sophia talked about their marriage with Andy Cohen and said that she never wanted to get married and felt pressured to do it. She said she didn't want to let anyone down and felt the pressure from other people around them. Chad's rep replied with a pretty sassy statement to people saying, "The story is ludicrous. Chad conducts himself in a completely professional manner and would never marry for any reason but love. 13 years since his divorce with Sophia, he has a very happy life with his wife and children. He has completely moved on and doesn't feel the need to engage in this type of behavior." Boom. He shut that down. Taking our number 1 spot is R. Kelly and Aaliyah. This story is crazy. Kelly met her when she was just 12 years old as he produced some of her music for her. He was actually 24 years old at the time. They soon began dating despite the huge age gap and even got married 3 years later. Yes, if you're doing the math in your head, that would make Aaliyah 15 years old and Kelly 27. It was a huge scandal because after their secret wedding, the press uncovered a marriage certificate that showed her age was forged to 18 years old, Obviously, she wouldn't be allowed to get married at 15 years old, so it had to have been forged. But Kelly immediately denied the reports and said that he never knew she was 15 and that when he married her, he thought she was 18. Aaliyah tragically died in a plane crash when she was 22, but their story is still being talked about today, now in a courtroom. Earlier this year, in January 2019, a video surfaced which proved that Kelly knew her age at the time. The clip was uncovered by TMZ, which shows a clip from a 1994 documentary where you can see Kelly acknowledging her age. Kelly is in the studio as he talks about Aaliyah, who you can hear singing in the background, and he says, "Right now I'm producing a very talented lady, a young lady, she's 14, Aaliyah." Since the video surfaced, Georgia authorities have launched an official criminal investigation.